The lock journey is a beautiful one, and if you want to enjoy your locks long term, then I recommend you stick around and watch this video because I'm going to show you exactly how to maintain strong and healthy roots, not just in the short term, but in the long term as well. Hey guys, welcome back to the Dreadlock Culture channel. My name is Nadia, and in today's video, we're talking about how to strengthen our locks at the roots. This is part 2 to last week's video, which was how to grow long locks. The first part, I focused mostly on the nutritional part of hair health and hair growth. And in this video, we're going to be talking about a few other things that you can do to ensure that your locks grow long and healthy. But I do want to put out the disclaimer that I'm not a doctor. Everything I speak about here primarily comes from my personal experience and a lot of the research that I do. So with anything mentioned in this video, I encourage you to do your due diligence. And if you have any questions or doubts about any of these treatments specifically, then please consult them with your doctor. And remember, this is for entertainment purposes only. I am not a doctor. So I wrote a little equation when it comes to strengthening our locks at the root and ensuring proper hair growth long term. The equation is a balanced diet plus a healthy lifestyle plus hair care ingredients or products that support hair growth, so natural ingredients, equals healthy hair growth. So nutrition is the fundamental part of this, I believe, and I spoke all about it in part 1, so I will link it for you in the description if you want to check that out. But essentially, what you want to focus on is a diet that is full of vitamins, minerals, and nutrients that are known for producing strong hair at the follicle. In other words, you want to be sure that you're eating a lot of nutritious foods, protein, etc., and that you're eating the least amount of processed foods as possible. So I've heard many times about this 80-20 rule. So 80% of the foods that you consume on a regular basis should be the nutritious ones. And then the extra 20% can be things that maybe you go out with friends and then you kind of spoil yourself a little, or you have, I don't know, a burger at a fast food joint or something. So that would be the 20%, which of course is minimal. The other thing that you want to make sure is that you're drinking plenty of water, and water is essential for life and for our bodies to function properly anyway. So make sure that you're drinking plenty of water throughout the day so that your body is constantly hydrated and replenished. And this is also going to help your hair grow healthy and also stay flexible and hydrated as well. In part 1, I discussed a list of foods that support our hair growth. So if you're interested in that, again, that's in the description. But anyway, that is the first part of our equation. The second part of the equation is a healthy lifestyle. So what this means is that you want a lifestyle that is going to reduce inflammation in your body, and also you want to be avoiding things that are known for harming hair or preventing hair growth. As far as reducing inflammation, there are several things that you can do. Number 1 is to prioritize your sleep. Number 2 is to exercise regularly. Number 3 is to detox your body, and you can do this in several ways, but one really fairly easy and effective way to do this is to spend time in a sauna or do dry brushing or things like that. That's going to help to remove a lot of the toxins that are on your body, and your body's going to regenerate healthy cells. You also want to prioritize your self-care, and this would also include reducing stress. So perhaps you do that by exercising or by going, I don't know, maybe spending time in nature or reading or relaxing or whatever that looks like to you. Stress is a big issue with our health in general, but also with hair growth. So if you can do whatever it takes for you to reduce stress in your life, then you want to incorporate that into your daily routine. And finally, like I said, you want to be eating foods that are anti-inflammatory. So primarily, you want to just focus on a lot of fruits, vegetables, legumes, proteins, that kind of thing. Now there are things also that you want to avoid. So let's start with our hair care routine. One of the things that you want to avoid is any high heat. So after, say that you wash your hair and that you decide to blow dry it to make the process of drying a little bit easier, then make sure that you're using mild heat or the cool setting or the low heat, because with high heat, that can cause breakage in your hair, and any hair damage that is caused by hair dryer or heat is irreversible. So you want to try to avoid heat damage on your hair as much as possible. This also includes washing your hair with about lukewarm or mild temperature water. If you can handle cold, that's even better, but very high heat or hot water is going to damage your hair in the long run. The next thing you want to make sure that you're not doing is getting too much maintenance. So excessive maintenance on the scalp, even if you're just playing with your roots. When I first started my journey, I would just kind of like be messing with them all the time because I wanted to tuck in all these loose hairs and I wanted to maintain my clean roots or neat roots as much and as long as possible. But honestly, that's not necessarily possible always, and too much root manipulation can cause tension, which over time will cause hair loss. And unfortunately, you might not notice the hair loss until it's too late. So if you've been doing too much maintenance or you try to manipulate your roots too often, then I encourage you to wait a good 8 weeks. Some people say 6, which is okay, but it's better to wait at least 8 weeks, and if not longer, just to ensure that there's not too much tension on your scalp and it leaves you less vulnerable to hair loss in the future. And along with that, you also want to avoid tight hairstyles, or at least consistent tight hairstyles. So maybe you're gonna go out for an occasion and you need to put your hair up in a certain way and make it look really neat, and that's okay. But you don't want to have your hair up and tied and pulling on your scalp consistently, because again, this is creating way too much pressure. Even sometimes you don't feel that pressure, but consistent pressure on your scalp can start to cause hair loss in the future. Another thing you want to avoid is getting into pools that have a lot of chlorine or other chemicals in them, or maybe just getting your hair wet with any kind of chemicals, because that's also going to cause a lot of damage to your locks long term. So instead, what you can do is to wear a swimming cap anytime that you go into the pool. And while it might not get all of the water out of your locks, because usually with the swimming cap, in my experience anyway, water will get into this like neck area here and sometimes around the top of the head. But at least it prevents the bulk of the water from getting into your locks, and it prevents a bunch of other problems also. But for the sake of this video, we're only going to be talking about hair growth. And finally, you want to avoid the excessive use of alcohol, caffeine, sugar, and smoking. And again, processed foods, which I like to call lab experiments, because for the most part, there's very little nutrition in most of the processed foods that we have available to us. So try to go back to the original source when it comes to food, and that is, an actual apple versus a chopped apple that comes in a bag, or even worse, Fruit Loops or any kind of cereals and those kind of things that are pure sugar and there's no nutritional content whatsoever. So be sure to stick to a cleaner diet if possible, and again, go with the 80-20 rule if that's what you prefer, so then you can enjoy the majority of healthy foods, and then 20% here and there you can, treat yourself, you could say, to something that's not necessarily as healthy. But just be mindful that those things are going to be counterproductive to the hair growth and your immune system and your overall health in general. So lastly, let's talk about our hair care routine. And here I'm going to share 5 natural treatments that support hair growth and scalp health. The first one we're going to talk about is an apple cider vinegar rinse. Apple cider vinegar balances the scalp pH, it improves shine, it strengthens our hair, it reduces dandruff, and it also reduces a dry scalp. And the only issue with apple cider vinegar is that it has to be diluted for sure, because it's extremely strong, but also it has some detangling properties. So it's kind of like a conditioner in a way, I guess a natural conditioner. So if your locks are new or not yet mature, then you want to be using this maybe once a month and only on the roots themselves. I'll explain how we do it, but basically you want to just be mindful that it can cause some level of detangling, so you don't necessarily want to use it too often because then it's going to be counterproductive to the locking process. So for the apple cider vinegar rinse, what you can do is grab an empty, clean bottle, and you're going to fill it up with 1 to 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, and then to that you're going to add about 1 to 2 cups of water. Shake it, and then wash your hair as you normally do, once a week or once every 5 to 10 days, or however often you wash your locks. And then after you wash them while you're still in the shower, then take that mixture and pour it all over your scalp. So be sure to just focus on the scalp primarily and just massage it really good in there, and then let it rest for about 5 minutes so that it can soak into the scalp as much as possible. And then after the 5 minutes are up, you can rinse it off and then just continue your hair routine, so with drying, etc. The next treatment is a green tea rinse. Green tea has vitamins C and E, and it supports healthy hair growth and scalp health. So for this treatment, you're going to grab either loose leaf or a tea bag of green tea and make yourself a regular tea as if you were going to drink it, but leave it on the counter and let it steep until the water has become about lukewarm or on the slightly colder side. So once that's ready, you're going to pour that water or that tea into a spray bottle, and then you're gonna spray it all over your scalp. Again, we're targeting the scalp primarily, so spray your entire scalp with it, and then you're going to wrap your head in a plastic shower cap. Meanwhile, you want to grab a dark towel and put it in the dryer for like 4 minutes or so that your towel gets warm, and then you're going to wrap your head with that warm towel and just let the heat, I mean, it's not going to be too hot because you don't want it to be scalding, of course, but the warmth from the towel is going to help the pores in your scalp open up and just absorb that tea. Anyway, then you're going to leave that on your head for a good 30 minutes or so, and then you can rinse it off with cold water or lukewarm water. The reason I recommend using a dark towel is because the green tea can stain. So if you're using a white one, you're going to end up with stains. Of course, you can use a towel that you don't care about getting stained. But anyway, the next treatment is an aloe vera scalp gel. And aloe vera is primarily made up of water. It's like 99.9% water. And it contains vitamins A, B12, C, and E. It prevents hair fall, it soothes and moisturizes the scalp, and also, my favorite, it prevents itchiness. So it's a great anti-itch remedy as well if you're dealing with other scalp issues. I have an entire video which is only like a minute and a half long. It's very quick, so I will link that for you in the description on exactly my process for making my aloe vera gel. I recommend that you use the straight leaf from the store, and if for some reason you can't find that, then I recommend finding the closest, most natural gel possible. You don't want to find this kind of like green product, like there's like a bright green aloe vera thing that you can find at a pharmacy. Those kind of things are full of chemicals, and I'm not even sure that they're aloe vera. So find the closest thing to natural as possible, and then check out my video, or actually also have a blog where you can follow the step-by-step on how I make my scalp gel. This can be used daily or as needed, but it's also important to keep in mind that just like apple cider vinegar, aloe vera has some detangling properties. And if you're new with your locks or they're not fully mature yet, then just kind of be a little bit cautious on how much you apply. If there's certain areas of your scalp that you feel need to be targeted more, then apply them to those areas. But if your locks are fairly mature, then you can use it daily if you need it to. The next treatment is a horsetail oil that you can apply directly to your scalp. Horsetail oil improves hair elasticity. It reduces inflammation in the scalp and also improves blood circulation, which is really important for hair growth. Another cool thing is that it helps to reduce DHT, which is the hormone that is responsible for pattern baldness in men. So for this treatment, what you want to do is you want to spray your scalp with just water, or you can also add essential oils to your water if you'd like, but you want to spray primarily just, again, we're targeting the scalp, and then get some horsetail oil, and just with the tips of your fingers, you're going to massage it real good. Just, overall, just cover your entire scalp. Then you're going to let that sit on your head for a good 30 minutes and wash it off afterwards. You can also use it as an overnight oil treatment, which is the next thing we're going to be talking about. So this final treatment is a hot oil overnight treatment. And for this, you're going to take a carrier oil of your choice, or a couple if you'd like, and an essential oil or several of your choice as well, and you're going to mix these together. A hot oil overnight treatment is great if you want the oils to stay on your scalp overnight, and it gives your head several hours to absorb the nutrients in the oils. The benefits are going to vary based on which oils you're using, because every oil has different properties. But let's say off the top of my head, I can tell you that castor oil, coconut oil, rosemary essential oil, lavender essential oil, and peppermint essential oil are really great for hair growth and known for hair growth. So I will leave here a list of the different oils that are primarily known for this. But I have actually 2 blogs with a very long list of both carrier oils and essential oils, and each of their unique benefits. So if you're also looking for nourishment in a different thing other than the hair growth, then you can find a blend that works the best for you. And something that is really important to mention is that essential oils cannot be used on their own because they're way too strong, and so they can cause actually damage to your skin. Instead of using them directly, you have to mix them with a carrier oil or something else to dilute them. So in the case of this hot oil treatment, then definitely be diluting it with another carrier oil of your choice. And again, the list will be in the description. So for the hot oil treatment, you're going to take a glass bowl and mix some essential oils with carrier oils. And once that's blended, you're going to dab your fingers into that, and then, oh, I forgot. First, you're going to spray your head with water, and that can also have essential oils if you want, but you want to make sure that your head is a bit wet, because that's going to help bring in the moisture into your scalp. And then you're going to take the oils, and you're going to put your fingers or dab your fingertips, and then massage it into your scalp, like nicely. Spend a few minutes massaging your scalp, and then you're going to take a plastic shower cap, cover it with a plastic shower cap, and then do the same thing with a warm towel. Warm up a towel in the dryer for like 4 minutes, and then wrap your head in that towel so that those oils and the hydration and all of that good stuff gets soaked in by the scalp. Then you're gonna let that rest on your head for about 30 minutes, and then just keep your shower cap on, and then put your silk bonnet on top of that. I recommend this so that the oils don't seep into your bedding or your pillow or whatever, and then you're gonna go to sleep like that. The next morning you would wash your locks as you normally would, and that is the overnight treatment. So those are the 5 treatments that you can do to encourage stronger hair growth at the root and encourage scalp health as well. There are a few other things. I constantly try new things out, and I research a lot. So I will be adding more to my website, because I have a whole article on this topic, which I will leave linked in the description. And if you want to check it, in some time, you will find a few other treatments. Possibly I will talk about them on the channel in the future as well. But if you want to see the latest, then definitely be checking my website. In any case, thank you so much for watching today's video. If you liked it, then please leave me a thumbs up. If you want to see more lock content and you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, then please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're notified every time I make a new video. I post videos weekly, so I will see you on the next one. And until then, keep rocking your locks. Bye.